Hi everyone, I'm Trina Martica. I'm talking to you today all about my acne journey. Yes, it has been a year and a half since I've been battling really bad acne. Now, as you can see, my face is not as bad as how it was a couple of months ago, and I'll explain what has been going on and why I haven't been shooting, why I've actually even taken a step back from my social media. So let's get started. For years, I had great skin. I had so many people walking up to me being like, "Oh my gosh, your skin looks so great and it's so clear. What do you do?" Now, when I was 16, I started to battle with acne. I guess it was like, my hormones. And so once I hit 20, I decided to go on birth control. And in my early 20s, I was on birth control for a couple of years and my acne cleared right up. And it wasn't bad. Like, I didn't have bad acne. I just had like spots here and there, on my back, on my face. And then, the birth control just cleared it right up. So then I was living in London at the time and I came off the birth control and then my face broke out again. So I went back on the birth control. And honest truth is I hate birth control. Hate it with a passion. So I went back on, and then when I moved to LA, I realized the birth control wasn't working for me anymore. It was like my body was just rejecting it. So I came off, and then I think it was at that point I went on to like another birth control that didn't work, and then another birth control, and that wasn't working. So then I just decided, you know what, I'm just done with birth control. So I came off, and luckily, no issues with acne. Like, I was fine. My skin was gorgeous. It was like glistening. Oh my God. I was modeling, I was acting, I had so many people complimenting me. They were all like, "Oh, wow, your skin is just beautiful." And I was like, wow. And and at that time, you don't really think about things like that. Like, you take it for granted. And then fast forward to 2019 in, I would say, like October, November, I started to get like breakouts here and there, one or two. And I was like, okay. And then all of a sudden, come December, it was like my face just broke out. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh my God, I was like crying. I was depressed. I didn't want to go out. So I was like, okay. I went through all these different stages. At the time, I was dating someone and we would go out for dinner all the time. And I did not even want to go out for dinner. I was, like, I just didn't want people looking at my face. And you know how it is. People will say, "Oh, it doesn't look that bad." But then when you go out, you see people staring at your face and you feel uncomfortable. Clearly, you're going to feel uncomfortable. So I stopped doing my YouTube channel. I had another YouTube channel before. Then I stopped posting on social media. I was always posting pictures on Instagram and I stopped that. And also Facebook, I stopped that because I just felt so insecure. Seriously, I did. So I was like, okay, I've got to start making the steps. So I went to a dermatologist. I went to a skin clinic. They gave me like an acne wash. They were like, if this doesn't work, we can put you on Accutane. I was like, okay, I don't want to go on Accutane because I know how it is. You have to like have your, your entire body in health check. They have to inject you. And from the time I hear injections, because I've got needle phobia, I'm like, no, it's okay. So, and also the side effects of Accutane, your entire body just gets dry all over. I didn't want that. So I said, okay, like, I'll try everything out. So I did the acne wash and, everybody and their mother had an opinion. Take this, do this, cut this out, do this. It was like I was being pulled from all these different directions. Everybody was telling me what to do. So let me start by telling you all the things I did, what worked and what did not work. So like I said, dermatologists, I went to 2 different dermatologists and then I did the peels. I did like, the chemical peels and, that worked. And then all of a sudden the acne came back. Then I went on Retin-A and, I did Retin-A for like the full 2 weeks and that was great. Like I saw the difference in the face cleared up. Then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks later, boom, acne back again. All over my face, acne. And I was like, okay. So another couple of weeks went by. I did another 2 weeks of the RATTAN. That worked again, same thing. And I was like, yo, I don't want to be doing RATTAN every month, right? So I was like, okay. So I went to an allergist because I also was like suffering with like my allergies, right? And the allergist here, they don't do like the full allergy testing where they test like over 200 or 300 different things like they do overseas in the States. For those of you who don't know, I'm in Barbados right now with my family. So I was like, okay, I'll go and see an allergist. And then I found out like, I'm allergic to soy, which is like a big thing. For those of you who have a soy allergy, you know that like pretty much every food in the supermarket has what? Soy. Soy is used as an emulsifier, and it's used for like so many other things. And so I had to start really reading the backs of every label of every single product that I buy just to check for the soy. So I cut that out, and then I realized I'm still breaking out. So clearly that wasn't linked to the acne. So then I was like, okay. Somebody was like, oh, you got to change your diet, cut this out, cut that out. So I went through the, no meat, no sugar, increasing the fruits, increasing the vegetables, and that worked. And then it didn't work. All of a sudden, like the acne would go, and then it would come back. It would go, it would come back. And then I found out about the medical medium. And I was like, okay. I started researching him. I started reading all the stories online, people who went through the same thing as me. And I was like, oh my God, like their acne story is my story. So I ended up following him and really listening to his advice and changing, like really, healing your body from the inside. And that's the one thing you have to learn is like, if you have acne, it's really coming from what's going on in your body. So I started with doing, his lemon water in the morning, and then I was doing the celery juice. I was doing the heavy, it's like a heavy metal. It's a detox smoothie. It's blueberries and cilantro and a few other ingredients, which worked well. Like I'll be honest, even though I only did it for, I would say like 2 months, like seriously did it for 2 months. Like I saw the difference, but then I didn't keep up with it. And I would say that was my fault. And I just got lazy and sluggish with it. So I hate to juice celery juice every day. So I was doing it like, every 3-4 days. And then I was doing it, once a week. And then it was like once every 2 weeks. So I took a break and I saw how, the acne was coming and going, coming and going. I also tried to, cut out wheat as much as I could, cut out dairy, which is very important for people who have acne because dairy does help contribute to a lot of acne issues. So then I started doing all kinds of stuff that you could possibly think of. And everybody had their opinion on like, doing this, doing that. So I'll start. So I went and I started to use like all these different oils. People were like saying, use oregano oil, use tea tree oil. So I used tea tree oil. That worked for a bit, then it stopped. I used oregano oil. That worked as well, and then it stopped. Same thing with this HD Clear Chocolate Blend. Now, this is really good. Like I use this more so on the back, but not on my face. And because I found that like the smell was starting to irritate me, like my allergies. But it did work for a bit, and then I started to realize the issue was like the acne would go for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden it would be right back on my face. So I was like, okay, so let's keep trying. So I said, okay, I'm the type of person, I'm just not going to try 1 or 2 things. I'm going to try like 20 or 30 or 40 things until I can figure out what is the right solution for me. So then moving on, I went to see this hormone doctor, well, specifically a doctor who deals with like your hormones and like nutrition and just really trying to regulate what's going on in your body. So I went and I saw this guy, and he did like a whole bunch of tests. We did the blood tests, and he was really surprised that like my progesterone and my testosterone were really, really low. And he said that didn't make any sense regarding like the acne on the face. So he put me on like the progesterone cream just because my progesterone levels were so low that he was really surprised, especially because I'm a very active person. Like I work out a lot. I swim 3 times a week for 2 hours. I run, I walk, I skip, I do all kinds of stuff, and I try to be very healthy. So I went on the progesterone cream, and this has been I'm now on month 6. Actually, I'm at the end, so this is going to run out soon. but I didn't see a difference with this cream, even though I know other people had great results with the cream. So then I went on and I started to like increase my vitamins. So I was like taking extra D3, I was doing omega 3s, I was taking a multivitamin, I was taking like ferroglobin, all kinds of stuff. And I really didn't see that much of a difference. The one thing that I would say I saw a difference was I started taking pantothenic acid and like high doses of pantothenic acid. And so I've seen this has been working for me. It's just that it's been a process. Like I know people who were taking it 3 tablets 3 times a day with every meal, but I wasn't. At first I was only taking like 2 tablets twice a day, and then I worked my way up. And then I wasn't very consistent with it, but now I have been more consistent and I've seen the changes. So I would say pantothenic acid has been one thing that has definitely worked for me. So then I started hearing about like probiotics. Probiotics are supposed to be really good for people who have acne. So with my smoothies, I started using, instead of using yogurt, because like I said, I'm trying to cut back on the dairy, I started using kefir, coconut kefir. So I don't get it from the supermarket, but I get it from an organic health food store. And this is really good. It has a bit of like a soury, tangy taste smell to it, but it's really masked once I put it in the smoothies. Also kombucha. Now, I cannot stand kombucha. I just do not like the taste. But I would say don't get the ones in the stores. I would say get the ones that you can get from any health food shop. This one is not bad. I take like, small little shots of it, but I still find that it's just not something that I like that much. Now this, I love. Pickles. Now this particular pickle, I like it. It's not sour. A lot of the pickles you taste are really sour, but this one is nice. It's bread and butter chips. And I've been using this for like, mixing with my tuna or with my sandwiches, anything like that. And I really do like that. So, okay, moving on. I would say if you can try and get some form of probiotics in your diet, that's a great way to go. Then, of course, I did I changed my detergents, I changed my hair products. I was changing my hair products like every month, 2 months. I wasn't wearing my hair on my face. I had it like pulled up in one. What else was I doing? I changed all of my products. I went through these stages of like trying different products. I went from using number 7, Protect, and Perfect. I went through using all the different types of products that they had. And then I moved and I changed my products. And guess what? I went and I spent hundreds of dollars on Zoe skincare line. So Zoe was okay. Like I saw a little bit of difference, but nothing major. And the acne kept coming back. And then of course I was using the acne control cream. And this honestly didn't do shit for me. Nothing at all. I went through like going to Sephora, buying products here and there, like samples just to try. And I got good genes, and this one was great. This is their all-in-one lactic acid treatment. And I would say I saw a difference, but then the acne still kept coming back with, majority of my other products. But the one thing that I would have to say that helped my skin was completely changing my products to The Ordinary. Let me bring it a little closer. So I started following this girl on YouTube. Her name is Dr. VANITA RATTAN. And she specifically only deals with people of color. And she really goes into detail about the products that we use and why they're good for you, why they're not good for you. But she's also a chemical formulator. So she knows about the ingredients that go into these products. And she started talking about using either The Ordinary or Paula's Choice. So I went out and I bought key products for like what she said to do. And I've been following her regime. And let me tell you, it has been working. I've seen a difference in my face. Definitely the acne's not coming back like how it used to. I would say this is still a work in progress for me, but it's working. I'm still doing the Acne once a week, sometimes twice a week. I'm starting back on the celery juice from the medical medium next week. And one other thing I need to say is this: water. I'm not good with water. I more so would drink more coconut water than actual just water, but I know you've got to get it in your diet, and I'm I'm terrible at it. So I will say this. I know everybody has an opinion on acne and what you should use, but I would say you have to figure out what works for you and what's not working for you. And so I went through all of these different things. I mean, I'm sure there's other things I did that I'm even forgetting to tell you, but I just wanted to let you know these were the key things that I did to help me get to where I am right now. So I'm still doing the blueberry, the heavy metal blueberry smoothie from Medical Medium, and I'm still following what he's doing. And from next week, I'm actually going to be going back on to his his type of diet for me. And I would say do what you can. Try to figure out if it is an allergy. Try to figure out if it is, your detergent, your hair products, anything like that. I know other people have had their own horror stories and they've had their successes. And I would say, like, I've had some success and I'm still, like I said, it's still a work in progress and I'm still going through it. But all I have to say is this. This is great. I've seen the difference with really increasing the probiotics in my body. And like I said before, the pantothenic acid, definitely. And changing my products to the Ordinary and Paula's Choice. I'm going to do another video specifically on my skincare routine so you can see and, just follow me with like how I do the products in the morning to how I do the products at night, because they're completely different products. But yeah, I just wanted to like share my story and explain to you why I haven't been, really active on like social media and, what's been going on with me and my journey. And so I'm just hoping that you'll join me, and I'll be sharing pretty much everything that's going on in my life with, again, the acne journey, with my skin, my hair, everything that I do on a daily basis. So join me. And I just want to say thank you very much for listening to my story, and I'll continue to keep you updated. So go ahead and like this video. Let me know what you think, comment, tell me about your acne journey, and we can just, continue to vibe and talk about what's going on with each other. So subscribe, and I'll bring you another video in a few days. All right. Thanks for joining me. Trina Martica here. Bye.